Hello, welcome once again to Toast the Toss, and we just finished a lovely week of Test cricket in Australia, hopefully in India, and we also had some great action from the Australian Open. So we will be discussing all of that, and today we have Suraj Subramanian with us, and also had also Dr. Sandhya Suresh, a double S over here. So nice to have Sandhya and Suraj over here. So without any further delay, we'll go to the most exciting part of cricket, which also got Pat Cummins very happy, delighted him. I have never come across a person who's who's happy actually when he lost the test match. So, Suraj, could you tell us about your feelings about West Indies winning in Australia after 27 years?
You know why? You know why Cummins was actually very praising and very happy. He didn't want to go down the Rodney Marsh route, right? He was after what Craig Brathwaite said in the post match ceremony. Cummins did not want like 11 West Indian players showing their biceps to him, so he took the safe route of saying, well played. But just coming back to Shamar Joseph's performance. So for those of you who have heard it, who haven't heard it, 11 o'clock in the morning, he was in bed. He didn't know that he was going to go to the cricketing field. He didn't know he was going to play. And for whatever reason, the doctor called him and he said, "Come over to the field. Get onto the team bus at 12:30. Come over, and I'll fix you up." I have a
Okay, okay.
feeling that
Suraj, just a second. Because you mentioned the doctor, I want to know from the doctor in the house, but what treatment would you give a person with a broken toe and he recovers so fast, and not only recovers fast, he takes 7 wickets out of nowhere. So, Sanjay, what's the treatment you think the doctor gave to Shamar Joseph?
So, so I'm not an orthopedician, but from a personal point of view, if I was having a broken toe, I wouldn't even get out of bed.
Yeah,
So
I
for
mean,
him to just run down and bowl 11 overs consecutively with a broken toe and bowling 150 kph speeds, it is just unbelievable. It was, I think, it's a mind over the body phenomenon. Whatever we give, it's not really going to, a pain of a broken bone is not going to be, it's not going to completely resolve with just whatever drugs or all those magic sprays that we give. It's not going to completely resolve. I think it's just the strength of his mind which overcame the pain.
talking
you
about
think they gave
magic
him
spray.
marijuana.
No, I don't think so. Talking about magic sprays, which was the wicket that impressed you the most? Which wicket of Shamar Joseph impressed you the most? Suraj?
Travis Head. What a ball.
Travis. Oh,
Oh my God. Brilliant that was.
yeah. And Sandhya, which was yours?
Yeah, for me it was the winning wicket.
Which one?
The last one, the
Oh,
last
the
one,
Last
last
either
the
wicket.
one.
Yeah.
last
And
one.
the
Yeah,
way they ran after it
yeah,
was amazing.
yeah. He could have given Tahir a run for his money, I guess.
Yeah. Tahir is slightly old, but not getting over there. But I love the way, like, GABA has been breached twice in 3 years, and the honor goes to India for that. But the kind of emotions everyone got, like right from Brian Lara, Carl Hooper, Ian Bishop, it was amazing to see that people are were so delighted about it. And do you think Test cricket will never die if such matches happen more and more frequent, or
I
once in
think
a while?
there'll be more and more matches like this with the WTC and with the advent of T20. I don't think anybody can do a blockathon anymore, right? So now test matches become super exciting. Everybody wants a result. How many in the last year, right? How many matches do you remember going into a draw?
Yeah.
Probably the last
And that
famous
too,
draw
a
was
boring draw.
India in Sydney, where Ashwin and Hanuma Vihari did that blockathon. I don't think most people go for a draw. It's impossible to do a blockathon anymore. So I definitely think Test cricket becomes super, super exciting with the
Speak,
WTC and every team wanting to win.
speaking about not going in a draw, that concept was brought by a Kiwi coach. And I'm not a big fan of his strategy, but who am I? But nonetheless, it is bringing down the results for the Kiwi in England. And we have Brendan McCullum with his fastball and dazzling everyone. And from nowhere, conceding 190 runs, first innings lead. And boy, oh boy. So did any one of you, I know Arun did expect a little bit of upset over there, but today he's not there to take all the credit. Nonetheless, did any one of you expect that such a thing might happen?
No, not at all. Not at all. At 190, I was expecting that the match would get over in 3 days and it will be an innings defeat for England. I was not expecting that fight back at all. Not at all.
Yeah, and what impressed you most about that fight back? Olipop, and or Ben Duckett's attitude when he came to bat, or the whole batting lineup of the English cricket team giving a fight. So, which aspect of theirs impressed you while batting, while England batting in the second innings?
I think to set that lack of fear, right? I mean, that's what baseball is all about. It's just that lack of fear, the fearlessness. It's not a lack of application. It's more of a lack of fear. Um,
Okay, Suraj, anything that impressed you particularly?
Yeah, the strategy of India making every series exciting, like how they they were able to lose a test match from a winning position to ensure that now every performance of theirs will be come from behind and then take the lead. So that was impressive.
Uh, Do you know the moment when I thought that this match we are taking it a little lightly was when Ashwin was about to stop a boundary and he just slipped and the ball just went past. I thought that it was too lax of him and did not show the right attitude. And similarly, the other person who brings a lot of concern for me is Shreyas Iyer because I think he does not have the right attitude to be in that white jersey of the Indian cricket team. Somehow, means like he goes after every ball, and probably it might be the effect of playing too much T20 or even ODI. So white ball cricket is something he's more excited about than so, Suraj and Sandhya, do you think there should be any change for the second team? If you ask me, I am going to drop Shreyas Iyer, but what are your opinions?
With what has come in the reports today, Jadeja is out.
Yeah,
And so is Rahul, right? I
yeah.
think we should all celebrate that Rahul played the Asia Cup, then he played the one day, then he played what happened after the World Cup till
He,
now?
South
T20
Africa.
against Afghanistan.
Oh
He
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
play that.
No, he went to South Africa. He played the test matches,
He
right?
didn't play the Afghanistan T20s.
Yeah, so I think yeah, we should celebrate that Rahul was able to play about 4 months of consistent cricket without a injury. So now, okay, but sarcasm aside, see Rahul's out, Jadeja is out, right? Even if you want to drop a Gill or a Shreyas Iyer, you unfortunately they're in a position where they can't because you don't have a Virat Kohli unless or until something dramatically changes and Kohli comes back. So I have a feeling that they can't drop. I mean, they won't drop an Iyer. They won't drop a Gill. They'll probably bring in a Rajat Patidar and they might bring in a Washington Sundar. That's probably the two changes.
But Washington,
Or actually, they might bring in a Kuldeep Yadav instead of a Washington Sundar.
yeah,
Again,
so
it depends
that's
on the pitch
three.
also, right?
Yeah.
I do. Vizag is not going to have like a green top for sure.
Okay, Sanjay, just one thing. Did the spinners disappoint you? Did the Indian spinners disappoint you?
To some extent, yes, I would say. I think, especially Jadeja, he kept giving away runs. At least they should have tightened up one end of bowling. I've never seen Indian spinners, even if they're not picking wickets, they'll keep it tight. So that didn't happen this match. They were just leaking runs like a T20 match. So that is something that they should have tightened up. And I think the captain also should have made some changes. Probably we weren't that proactive when they were going away with the match, kind of took it that one lackadaisical attitude. We're anyway going to win. That kind of attitude was there. And we were panicking only once the lead went past 150, I think.
Yeah. And one more decision, like I know last episode I was defending Akshar Patel because he does get a preferential treatment when it comes to selection. I don't know what works in his favor, probably the batting and all that. But he being the third spinner, unable to extract anything out of it, that's a little concern. And especially, it's more concerning when you get to see first time debutants or people playing in India first time, and these English blokes coming and running Haragiri over there. And who impressed you the most amongst the bowlers? Of course, we all know the person who took all the hearts away, but Sandhya, your thoughts about Hartley, Rehan, and Joe Root?
Yeah, I think Joe Root led the way because the way he bowled in the first innings, he showed the spinners that this is how you have to bowl. So the other spinners didn't bowl that well in the first innings, and I think Hartley was just getting hit by the Indian batsman in the first innings. But I think Joe Root showed them that this is how you need to bowl. You need to stick to a particular plan and certain lines and lengths, and they stuck to the plan in the second innings. And of course, the Indian batsman also helped them. So that's how the wickets went off in a jiffy in the second innings. There was a little bit of a lack of application also, I felt, because we did see that when we were down to 7 wickets and the way that Ashwin and Bharat batted, there was a lot more application in that partnership than what we saw in the few overs before that.
Yeah. Suraj, your thought about the English reading the conditions better than the Indian team. Was it a case, or it's just they got an advantage of an off day by the Indian batting squad?
I think in a ranked turner like this, historically, all the traveling teams have done a better job. Be it Australia in Pune, England in the 2012 series when they came with Swan and Panesar. Um, I de- I definitely thought. I think in the second innings with 230 lead, there was a lack of belief or from the Indian batsman, and I think Rohit Sharma was the key wicket. But I definitely think Jadeja's run out was a freak dismissal. But
Okay.
given the context, maybe he could have been a little more careful. And I was disappointed with how Ashwin got out because I think Ashwin and Bharat had built a brilliant partnership, and Bharat got like a peach of a delivery. I think that is the delivery for the test match. But I think Ashwin and Siraj, even Siraj, right? They dragged it over 200. I think they both would, had they stuck around, there's a fair possibility we could have still won.
But let's be fair to Siraj. Come on, like you cannot expect your number 11 batsman coming and hitting the winning runs and all that. I think just was hitting runs because if he had gone out for a duck and all, his friends would have just booed him in Hyderabad. So
Well, he had Boom Boom at the other end. Yeah, Boom Boom has what, 35, 40? Didn't Boom Boom whack Anderson in England?
but
And Broad.
see,
Yeah.
those conditions were different, and this condition was a little different. And it was a lot of, you have to give credit to both of them for taking India above 200, but it was never going to be the case. Maybe if Ashwin had got out at some 201 or 202, that would have been something to look forward. But nonetheless, you cannot take credit away from these people or even the English bowlers.
Actually, just so on commentary, there was a very interesting piece between Sunil Gavaskar, Murli Karthik, and Ravi Shastri. I think Murli Karthik said the Indians have to attack Tom Hartley and then get him off his line. And Ravi Shastri said, they should have attacked when he started his spell. At that point of time, Tom Hartley was about 7 overs into a spell and he had got 2 wickets. So Ravi Shastri mentioned that if Indians attack him now, it's not going to make any difference to Tom Hartley. So because he's already settled into a rhythm. So
Yeah.
probably that was another tactical, mistake where probably Indians could have gone really hard at Hartley, knowing Leach wasn't available, and they only had one other fast bowler. But let's give credit to England. I think with 3.5 bowlers, they still won a test match.
Yeah. So, Sandhya, was it a tactical error on the part of the Indian team, or it's just or means like tactical error in going for just two spinners, two full-time spinners, and two pace bowlers? And on the other hand, you had the English team. They went with four bowlers. They became 3.5. But do you think the English were more prepared than the Indians?
I mean, on an Indian turning pitch, Akshar Patel is definitely can be considered a full-time bowler. He's being picked for that. Although I did read a stat which showed that I think the last 10 test innings, Akshar, Jadeja, and Ashwin all have more runs than Shreyas Iyer. So probably being selected also to cover up the batting that we have, the problems with our batting, especially in the absence of Kohli. But I mean, on a turning pitch, you would consider Akshar Patel, Jadeja, and Ashwin as full-time bowlers, and they should have got the job done, especially when they have Bumrah. Suraj was underutilized probably on this pitch. The only other possibility was maybe they could have got a spinner who turns the ball the other way,
Like Kuldeep?
like Kuldeep, or maybe even some wrist spinner, another wrist spinner probably.
Okay,
But I think they should have got the job done, the three of them between them on this turning pitch when England could, plus of course we have to give it to Ollie Pope's brilliance also. The way he played and the
we don't talk
tactics that
much
he
about
utilized,
Ollie Pope actually.
the reverse sweeps that he did. It was one brilliant innings, just completely took the game away from us.
Yeah.
And he was supported by all the other England batsmen as well, but his one innings was really brilliant.
Okay, just one hypothetical question. Suppose India goes on to lose the second test. Whom would you like to not be sacked from the team? No, I'm not. I'm talking. I'm targeting a few batsmen over here. The batsmen who might get the boot. Who do you think would?
You want to be told.
It's hard to say. I mean, a lot of them are the young players, right? I don't think we should, sack the young players over the, over one or two test matches.
It
Probably
would be very
the
difficult to sack Rohit Sharma, but I think
among the experienced players, it will be Shreyas Iyer who will be under the microscope.
I think
Probably even Gill,
for
because
some reason I am not quite happy with Gill. Probably maybe if they can drop Gill and get someone like Abhimanyu Iswaran, he's knocking the doors for a long time. You never know, or even a Mayank Agarwal, he's also playing reasonably well. Suraj, you just ran away when I asked you that hypothetical question. Okay, you need not answer that, but did you expect a 43-year-old man going on to become the number one ranked player in men's double and then also winning a Grand Slam? Did you have any hopes about, or did you ever think about such a magic going to happen?
No, I thought the golden era of tennis ended with Leander Pace and Bhupati, but I was very happy with what Bopanna has achieved. I actually watched the highlights of the match, and and I think Bopanna used a lot of his experience because the other three were far more younger and agile, but I think Bopanna had a lot of guile and experience.
But what makes Indians good at doubles and not at singles? But this time in Australian Open, we had an Indian.
we had Nagal beating.
We had Nagal who played really well. He won against against a seeded player, so that was pretty exciting for Indian. But all along, Indians have been doing well in doubles, and it's nice to see. But I hope this inspires more Indians to go and do the best for best in the international tour. So, Sandhya, anything you enjoyed particularly about Bopanna's performance in the during the Australian Open, besides
I
him winning?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty amazing that he's been around for so long, and we have been seeing him in a lot of tournaments. We've seen him play with Sanya and mixed, and he has won a mixed doubles in the past. But it was pretty surprising that he has never actually won a men's doubles Grand Slam till now. And so the story really shows that there's no age limit to achieving a dream, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of resilience on his part.
True. Amazing resilience, and what's really impressive is his serve. I don't think it's lost any of its potency in all these years, and it's really amazing to watch him serve.
And okay, moving on. So that match ended on straight sets, and then we had another final which ended on straight sets. That was the women's Australian Open final, and we had Sabalenka who went on to win. So Sandhya, do you love Sabalenka, or she means you
Yeah.
were expecting someone else?
No, I have watched so many Grand Slam champions changing in the women's side that I'm happy that there's now at least a consistent group of players who are winning and making the deeper sections of the slam, consistently. So that is a nice thing. Um, I wouldn't say I have a favorite among Sabalenka and Swiatek and Rybakina and all of them, but at least it's nice to see a consistent group of good players. And for me, more than the final, I like the semi-final between Goff and Sabalenka. That was
Yeah,
probably the virtual final there.
yeah. And
Hey,
they have a very
sorry,
good
I
relationship actually.
no, no, I've probably been living under a rock. What happened to Osaka?
Osaka
Okay.
lost in the first round. I mean, she was drawn against Garcia. It was pretty. I mean, that was unlucky,
And
but she lost to Garcia in the first round. But
okay,
I think,
good.
but she was playing pretty well the match that she did play, and she brings a lot of star power. So actually, I was rooting for her to win.
Okay, good you brought Osaka. So, one uncommon phenomena during the Australian Open was that eight women who actually are mothers were playing during the Australian Open, and that actually was well received by fans of international tennis. Sandhya, your thoughts upon the same?
Yeah, um, I think I'm not sure. So I'm not sure about the older generation. Probably I've seen it with Serena and Kim Clijsters when she used to
Yeah.
bring her child on court, and it's a pretty amazing feat. I mean, it's to finish pregnancy and then to come back. I mean, we see it even with other women athletes from other sports like
Yes.
Shelly Ann Fraser Price and Alison Felix
Yeah,
are
yeah.
doing sprints even after becoming mothers. So I think women are pretty
Uh,
great that way.
so Nike never expected that, and they expected Osaka to. Nike never expected Fraser to come and win those gold medals again. But this time they thought they learned their lesson, and they got a special dress for Osaka, which she forgot to wear for the Australian Open, and she lost by the in the first
Oh, that's an interesting story.
But nonetheless, it's nice that the sponsors have taken note that even mothers are more resilient. Actually, they should have always gone by that. Mothers are more resilient. Nonetheless, okay, we had a pope who was very resilient. We had Sabalenka, we had Shamar Joseph, a lot of resilience, Rohan Bopanna, and now we are talking about a player from Italy who was two sets down in the final. He had already defeated a much coveted, much loved, much hated Djokovic in the semifinals, and he was two sets down against Medvedev. And boy, oh boy, did Sinner do a turnaround. Uh, Suraj, did you follow the match?
No, no, I was just looking at the headlines today. I saw the highlights of Bopanna, but then I saw the headlines today, and for somebody, so it's almost like life came a full circle yesterday, right? It started with a Pope magic and it ended with sinners sinners glory, right? So I think that's probably life.
Yeah. Sandhya, so you must have watched the match.
Yeah,
Actually, like
I
we were having a conversation around that time. You said, I think you mentioned that Sinner might turn it around, and I said it's unlikely. And then he went on to win.
Yeah, I actually didn't watch the first two sets. I was tuned in the third set thinking, okay, Medvedev's going to win this in three sets. And then Sinner wins the third set, and it looks like Medvedev is just running out of steam, you know. I think he broke the record for the longest hours spent on court in a
Oh,
Grand
is
Slam.
it? I wasn't aware of that actually.
So it's the most hours spent on court in a Grand Slam. I think that's the record he broke. So probably that was the reason why he probably was fatiguing by the end of the match.
Actually,
And Sinner really did play well.
actually, in the fifth set, I still thought even when he was 5-2 down, I thought he might pull it because he did it against Sasha in the semifinals when he was two sets down. From there, he gave a fight back. But the Medvedev saga, I don't know when the poor child, I felt bad for him. I really felt bad for him. He's one of the Russian players, the male Russian players who is actually like a little who has a little emotion other than Marat Safin. So that's one reason why I look forward to Medvedev. But unfortunate of him not able to make it. But all kudos to Sinner for securing that win. And also, I think he's a rightful successor, and more youngsters keep coming and winning and do what the big three of tennis have done in the last 2 decades. On that note, we are almost at the end of the
Just
podcast.
sorry, one last thing. Just
Yeah,
educate me.
Suraj.
Out of the big three, it's only Djokovic who's doing the rounds now. Federer has retired. What about Nadal? Nadal's also
This
retired.
is his final year,
Ah,
hopefully.
Maybe Federer and Nadal should just do a Bopanna. He
Yeah,
finished in
both we can
43.
create
officially
the match.
retiring.
Come on,
Oh,
boys.
so Federer is officially retired.
Yeah, he's Suraj, we'll save you the embarrassment of being tennis ignorant. But nonetheless, we'll do one thing. We'll we'll ask you about your opinion about the following tests matches in India. So, what do you think about England or India's chance in the upcoming test in Vizag?
So last series, England won the first test match and they lost the next three. So, no, I mean,
Are we
I
doing
don't
predictions?
I think so, but I think it's this England team is definitely much better. I don't think they're as bad as the previous English team. So it's going to be a good fight. Even if India go 2-0 down, I'm still not bothered because I think in the Ashes, England were 2-0. They were down 2-0 and then they came back to win two matches. So with this being a five-test series, I think there's going to be a lot of good cricket.
Sandhya, I have a question for you. Suraj gave me the question actually. Do you think that now that we are in Vizag and the English spinners have been quite potent, do you think the curator will be under a lot of pressure whether I should make a rank turner or should I make a pitch which actually plays proper? What goes in his mind? So it's a question for you.
I really don't know. It must be so much pressure. I mean, at the end of it, I think the Hyderabad pitch was a really good sporting pitch.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dust bowl by any means. Anyone who showed some application could definitely make runs on that pitch. So something like the Hyderabad pitch would probably be ideal, but we really don't know. We really don't know what the Indian team would want.
But actually, our podcast owes an apology to the Hyderabad ground because last episode, we made a lot of fun about Hyderabad ground being very boring, and we thought that the city is more exciting, but nonetheless, the stadium is in the city, though on the outskirts, but the stadium is still in the city. The the atmosphere in the stadium was amazing. 4 days of crowd, and even the Barmy army enjoyed a lot of music, a lot of chants. They would have definitely loved Warner also over there, or Kavya, but we are not going there. But it was a great series, a great series starter in Hyderabad. And thank you, Hyderabad, for giving us so much to look forward in another test. And on that note, ladies
Oh,
and
oh
gentlemen,
wait, before we sign out, are we going to stick our neck out and make a prediction for the 5 match series?
okay,
What do you say, Ajit?
okay, I will. Actually, Bill, like I am not a big fan of basketball, but boy, oh boy, have I been surprised? Yes, I think it's going to be a tie. Uh, I will give a 2-2 to both the sides.
Okay. Suraj,
Well, I want it to be a 4-1 in favor of India, but maybe a 3-2 seems more likely. Again, it all depends on how good the batting is or when Kohli comes back. But I think 3-2 in favor of India.
And
I don't see any drawn matches unless there's going to be a major weather issue in any of the venues. So I think everything's going to have a result. So I'd also go with 3-2 India. And I don't think England's going to, I think this England team could win one more match. So definitely I'd go with 3-2 in favor of India.
okay. Okay, so we have our predictions 2-2, 3-2, the as per Suraj and Sandhya.
Wait,
We
I
look
have a
forward
question.
to
Sorry,
that,
sorry.
and we'll be
One last
doing.
question. I have one
Okay,
last
the
question.
questions are not ending today. Okay, Suraj, go ahead.
Listen, what happens if a test match is tight? Is it decided on boundary
No,
count?
no, no deciders. It's Maninder Singh
It's
doing
tight.
that mistake.
Who knows? Maybe there'll be a tight test match. Anything can happen. It can be
Yeah.
closing
Anything can
series.
happen. As for that one thing, I predicted that it's going to be tight, but let's see. Okay. On that note, I hope the questions have ended, and so has our episode. It was a great pleasure hosting both of you, and it has been a great week for sports. Looking forward to more such excitement from grounds or courts or even the stands. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, do share, subscribe, and like our show, the Toast the Toss, and our network, the Toast Network. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day ahead. Over to with that, thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.